الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين، وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. What started as Mard America, Mard Israel, seems to be ending with Mard Khamenei. You see, I was in Europe when the Iranian revolution started. Then I came to America here after Khomeini came back to Iran, went back to Iran, and took over the government. So many Muslims who maybe didn't know much about the creed and culture and history of the Ja'fari Shia were enthusiastic because the words that they heard was, we are going to unify Muslims, Sunnah and Shia around the Quran and Prophet Muhammad, Israel, America. You see, the Shah, I grew up in Kuwait. I remember very well when the Iranian Riyal under the Shah, with the picture of the Shah, I think it was like 6-7 to the dollar. Today it's 1.5 million with Khomeiни's picture on it. The West was preparing the Shah of Iran as a local superpower. All kinds of weapons that he wanted. They supported him. They were giving him intelligence. And he opened the door for the Jews, cooperated with the Jews, the invaders of Palestine, against the interests of the Muslims of Palestine. And many Muslims in Iran too rejected that. But he was a stooge for the West, especially America. And he bought weapons, Navy, Air Force, all kinds of things. They were given to him without restrictions because he was supposed to be the lion in the Gulf to teach those divided small Arab area countries in the Gulf a lesson and to keep them on watch. So, in the meantime, the Shah was a tyrant, lousy tyrant, because the economy did not help the ordinary people, it just helped the rich people, just like the West does. They call it capitalism. Capitalism means take the money from the poor, give it to the rich. That's what he did. And he lived like a king. Really, he thought of himself as a king while the people were suffering. And he was anti-Islam. So the combination of these things led to his people revolting. The revolution succeeded. I was in America at the time, and I saw the enthusiasm that many young Muslims had with and for the Iranian Islamic revolution, because they thought that finally a big country is unifying Sunnis and Shia. But that didn't happen. See, Khomeini had no interest or plan to unify anything. He was a fanatical extremist in the Ja'fari religion, with his goal to suppress Islam in Iran, the Sunnis, about a third of the population, maybe less, maybe more, and to export Ja'fari revolution to surrounding areas, and he had no interest in other than controlling Iran with tyranny and power, with savagery, really, against his own people, even the Shia who didn't like what he was doing, and exporting the revolution to surrounding Arab areas in specific. Because the goal for the Ja'faris and their mullahs is number one, power, which brings money. They're together, they're sisters, together. Power, money, and exporting their religion to the Arabs so that they end up with the dream that the Shia have had for many centuries to control Mecca and Medina, which will make them the cities of propagating the Shia to the Muslim world, who come to Mecca and Medina for Hajj or Umrah, either for pilgrimage or visiting Mecca. And of course, people visit Medina after that. It's not connected to Hajj. And they think of that place as it for them. They want it. They want it. Khomeini didn't change anything. In fact, the books that were uncovered and translated, some of them translated by Iran itself, have exposed this man as being a real extremist in rejecting the Quran. He says the Prophet's companions all became disbelievers after he died. He called them pigs and dogs. And since the companions are the ones who transferred the Quran and Sunnah to the world, calling them kuffar means the Quran was changed. We don't take the Sunnah because they all became kuffar, because they couldn't find what supports their religion in the Quran and Sunnah. So instead of endless arguments, they said the Quran was changed, no Sunnah, everybody became kuffar except for 7, 4, 15 and a half, who knows, depends on the mullah. Other than that, the companions of Muhammad all became kuffar. He didn't change anything in his ideology, in his ideas, nothing. But added to that, now he has a strong country, used to be, where he can push for exporting the Shia religion. And he did that. At the same time, suppressing his own people. Iran had and still has a lot of talent, including the Shia, not only the Muslims, but also the Shia. Lots of talent and natural resources, not only oil, they have gold, they have beautiful areas, they have deserts, they have mountains, they have seasonable rivers, it's a huge country, and they held together different nations that, like the Arabs in the south, and you have the Azaris, you have the Pashtun, you have who did not want to be under the Persians, but they couldn't do anything about it. So the whole thing was a slogan. Mard, Mard, America, death, death to America. Mard, Mard, Israel, death, death to Israel. That slogan was important for them in the beginning to export the revolution. No interest in fighting America, never happened. Or fighting Israel, never happened. Never happened, even though it's the Jews who attacked Iran recently and the Americans. But the war from Iran, just a slogan, and skirmishes here and there, because just like mafia, it's my turf and your turf. But they did not do anything for Palestine. They haven't done anything for Palestine. Zero, nothing. Slogans to attract those naive young Arab men and women, towards that slogan, we're working for Palestine, while they're spreading their religion among the Muslims. The economy, a couple of things. Any country that wishes for the economy to dive into a hole, be destroyed, going down, become a failure, maybe they should wake up one day and say, hey, my country needs failure. Let me surrender the economy to Putin or to the mullahs. Look what they did in Iran, in Iraq. Look what they did in Lebanon. The economies die. They die. And they continued the slogan against America, the greatest devil and all that stuff, because it suited them to spread this ideology among young Muslims for revolutions in their countries. Meanwhile, they're injecting those young Muslims with the Shia ideology, and because the young Muslims are so bitter and angry against their own rulers, tyrants, they were willing to support another tyrant because he says, your rulers are tyrants. Palestine, 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 nothing happened. The Palestinians did not benefit from Iran whatsoever, but in fact lost tremendously. And they continued this. They could have given up this slogan and concentrate on their country. Like I said, Iran has tremendous talent, talented people. They missed a great opportunity to leave an impression on the Muslims by getting rid of the extreme ideas they have in their religion and coming closer to Muslims and believing for a change in the Quran and Sunnah and stopping all these crazy ideas that the final prophet, as Khamenei said, I have it in one of my books, Prophet Muhammad, like all the prophets before him, failed. He said Prophet Muhammad failed in his mission because he did not tell anyone about their creed. So instead of changing their creed to conform to the Quran and Prophet Muhammad's Sunnah, they said no, the Quran and Sunnah were changed. Until today, it's nothing new. The same ideology they had for a very long time. See, the Shia established states in the Arab and Muslim world for a very long time. Many of them rose and fell and everything they had in their history, and they have thousands of scholars. They have tens of thousands of books. It's an entire religion, really. So they missed this opportunity to bring Muslims together and not to spread all this ideology among Muslims while talking all the time about America, but they never fought America. And against Israel, they never fought against Israel. Khomeini bought Israeli weapons, didn't he? You know that. Go to history and see about that, what he did through America, the Iran-Contra scandal. And they didn't fight America or the Jews because they know they can't. And also, it's just a slogan. And instead of thinking, let me get rid of this slogan, he died. Khamenei became the Murshid, the leader, a title they took from Ikhwan Muslimin. Actually, they mentioned that Ikhwan Muslimin, their leader, they called him the Murshid, the one who guides, the guide, and the leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, don't forget this, is also called Murshid. And this man, for since 1989 until today. Khomeini died 1989. 10 years he was the murshid, the greatest murshid the Shia had for centuries. And he destroyed the economy of Iran, went after the Sunnis there. Wars, war with Saddam Hussein. And then he died. And then Khamenei came, and Khomeini had surrendered to Saddam Hussein. Khamenei came, and instead of thinking, let me use the money that we have, just tone down those slogans because they're not real. They know they're not real. It's just fake slogans. Mud, 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 mud. Okay, we heard it in America, in universities. We saw them demonstrate. I saw them demonstrate in London also, the Iranians, but before the revolution took over Iran. But it's a slogan. There is no interest for you, really, or ability, they know that, to fight America and the Jews. That was the case then, still the case today. And they didn't fight. See, they didn't fight America or the Jews. Ya Muslims, ya Muslims, ya Muslims, ya Muslims, ya Muslims. They didn't fight America or the Jews. They were hitting them, hitting Iran. But Khamenei, instead of spending the money and tone down this mud, whatever, America, Israel, so that the West can allow them to sell oil, get money, fix the economy that Khomeini destroyed, let the people have relief, have some money. The people of Iran have nothing to do with Palestine. Yeah, many among them have feelings for the Palestinians, including Shia and Sunnis, no difference in this regard. But what is the plan, strategy? Make your country strong inside, economy. Let the people be happy. Don't pressure them. Let them have work and everything. And then, if they have to sacrifice something to help their Muslims, Muslim brothers and sisters everywhere, they will be happy to. But they suffered, the Iranians really. They don't have water. They haven't had water for a long time, steady, you know. They don't have. They didn't have. The economy is in bad shape. It's lousy. The mullahs are lousy managers of any economy. Doesn't matter. Iraq, rich with oil. Look what they, Iraq, same story. What economy is there? Lebanon, months pass before they collect garbage. People lost all their savings because of this crazy Hezbollah Shia that maybe because you're trying to forget, or you don't know, or you don't want to know, Hezbollah gradually suppressed all the Palestinian groups in Lebanon and was the barrier between them and Israel. Know this. Why did the Palestinians stop fighting Israel from Lebanon? And not all the Palestinian groups were good. Some of them were communists and all that garbage. Some of them were not. They were Muslims. Why did they stop? Hezbollah suppressed them all. So Khamenei did not use the opportunity to bring Muslims together. If he claims he's a Muslim, get rid of your ideas because they are un-Islamic, totally un-Islamic. Get rid of them. Stop trying to export revolution. Fix your country's economy. And if you need to stop those slogans, which are empty slogans, for a number of years, do that. Fine. Until you become strong, and then maybe you can help Muslims. In the meantime, you come back to Islam. He didn't want it. He did not want it. He had power, time, tens of years, a lot of money that he took from the people and put it in front companies that he controls. Between 100 to 200 billion dollars. Billion he controls. Well, people don't have water, can't afford buying food now, and they're using the same idiotic way which they use throughout. Somebody uh, protests. Protestation, by the way, protest is not from the way of Muslims. So anyway, they crush them. They don't fix anything. Then another cycle, crush them, fix nothing. Now, what happened? Iran, a big country, so many different nations of Muslims, Persian, Arab, Turk, Afghan, Pashtun. It's in really lousy economic shape. It's really bad. The 1.5 million. So if you want to buy a Pepsi there, you need 3 million reals, 3 million papers with Khomeiни's picture on the paper, 3 million pictures of Khomeini to buy a Pepsi. It's incredible. So instead of thinking this 86-year-old man who killed so many Muslims with Khomeini inside Iran, then after the fall of Saddam, they didn't do anything to stop America, Mad America, when they came to take over Iraq. They didn't do anything because who's the biggest enemy? America or the Sunnis of Iraq? Sunnis of Iraq. There is oil, and they've been controlling all the time. They've been controlling the oil in Iraq. Nobody knows exactly where the money goes, much of it, because the mullahs, every one of them lives like a king, and they have, the big ones, they have militias, their own militias, and money everywhere. They went to Iraq, brought it down economically. The Shia, they are really lousy as economic managers or managers of any economy. The Shia. What happened in Iran? Look what's happening. Look to what's happening in Iran, and look to what's happening in Iraq. Oil, forget about it. Where is the money? Where is the money? The people don't know where the money is. Iraq, the Muslims live there in as much bad a situation as in Iran. Do I need to talk too much about it? Look what the mullahs did to Iran and Iraq. Lebanon, they supported Hezbollah, and they suppressed everybody, including the Palestinians. And the economy of Lebanon today is worth nothing. It's not worth anything. It's really, it's sad. It's pathetic. They wanted to take over all of Yemen. Now they're in the north, the Houthis, who were Zaydis, a different sect, not as bad as the Ja'faris of Iran. And there is the war there. And here is Khamenei's plan. He has the money in his pocket. The mullahs have the money in their pocket, suppressing the population, control over Iran and Iraq. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Mediterranean. The Kisra, Persian Empire, is back under King Khamenei, Kisra. And then their plan with Hamas, because they're the instigators behind Hamas. Hamas knows they can't do anything against the Jews. They know that, the leadership. We stand with the people because they are suffering there. We don't stand with the leadership of Hamas, period. I don't. I never did. even before America described Hamas as a terrorist organization, I spoke publicly against their ideology. Anyway, and their cooperation with the Shia of Iran. So, the plan, what Hamas did, I have no doubt that the leaders of Hamas wouldn't have done it without permission from their supporters with money and weapons, the mullahs of Iran. Then Israel took the opportunity. Biden, the butcher of Gaza, opened the door for them, weapons, billions of dollars, support, everything. Same thing continued with Trump. And now there is no restriction. So what the Jews did is what they couldn't do before for a number of decades. They went after the leadership because now, they're done with it. They know Hezbollah is good for the Jews because they're suppressing the Lebanese Muslims and the Palestinians in that country, making them slaves for the mullahs, suppressing them by brutal strength and power, crushed them. So the Palestinians can't fight there. So they became bored with Iran. They went after the leadership. Then they were hitting the Iranians in Syria. So when Bashar al-Assad was killing the Muslims in Syria in the hundreds of thousands, the mullahs came in because they wanted to control Syria. So because it's the land between Iran and Iraq and Lebanon, continuation, Kisra, Persian Empire. They wanted it. And they came and they killed literally hundreds of thousands of Muslims. Hezbollah sent more than 30,000 soldiers into Syria to kill the Muslims there, Sunnis. Didn't send even 3 soldiers into north of Israel to relieve the pressure on Gaza. Slogans. Remember, slogans. And then the Jews came and hit Hezbollah, the leadership. Was hitting the Iranians in Syria for months and months and months. They couldn't defend themselves in Iran or in Syria. They hit Iran then, and they destroyed the military infrastructure, went after the leadership except for Khamenei. And then Iran realized that they can't afford it anymore. So they ran away from Syria, alhamdulillah. The Muslims are back in control in Syria. I ask Allah for them for guidance to remain on the path and to just take care of your people now and your religion, to be strong. Later you can do things. Today, concentrate on your own population. And Iran lost tremendously because of these Israeli attacks. I don't know, because anytime Trump opens his mouth, before you hear anything he says, automatically you would think and believe that he's gonna lie. He's lying. He did lie. They said we destroyed the nuclear capability or whatever. We don't know. Who knows? Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. So now Iran is facing demonstrations. I need to talk about this. I wasn't afraid to talk about it, and I'm not afraid to talk about it now. I started saying this early on, more than 40 years ago. My name is Jalal Abualrub, JALAL My website is islamlife.com. You see some of my books behind me. More than 70 books that Allah favored me and my family to produce, thousands of articles, this YouTube channel with hundreds of videos, and I've been teaching Islam for decades. I've been saying this since early on. When Khomeini, Islamic Revolution, I've been telling the people it's a Shia Ja'fari revolution. Don't drag Islam into it. So they didn't do much in terms of Islam. How can you do anything in Islam when you say the book of Islam was fake? So the economy, uh, this, what's his name? Steve Bannon. That man his face looks battered. I don't know how he thinks that he is like, because he's white, he's superior to black and brown people. I have seen very few black and brown people who look worse than he does. Look at his face, it's like battered. Yeah, Iran economy failed because it followed Islamic economy, Islam economy doesn't work. Oh, shut up. Shut your face. Fix your face. Grow a beard and a mustache to cover all this battered face. The Iranians did not use Islamic economy. They did a capitalist form, a lousy one, of economy. Take the money from the poor and from the treasures of the country, give it to the mullahs and the rich people. And it didn't end up in them taking care of the people. Who cares? So they didn't do Islamic economy. Islamic economy is built on free market with no monopoly. No monopoly. Okay. You know what I'm saying. Monopoly. No monopoly over the economy. Islam doesn't allow it. And Islam does not allow the rich people to use their money to influence the leadership. See? And Islam calls for breaking up the wealth through inheritance when they die. So the money will be distributed among their inheritance. Not like here, the state steals much of it, democratic ideas. And through zakah, paying zakah, the required charity has to be paid every year. And to help the people through control of prices only when it is needed, like price gouging, like keeping the products in stores, not selling them so that the price becomes more. So Islam has the perfect type of economy. Iran didn't do it. They have a different religion. So they concentrated on tarnishing the word Islam through their behavior and killing hundreds of thousands of Muslims. Where does it say in Islam you go kill hundreds of thousands of Muslims? Civilians, men and women, children, stealing farms, like what the Jews did in Palestine, they did in Syria and in Iraq. And millions of people had to leave Iraq and Syria because of these animals. Really. They didn't do economy according to Islam. It has nothing to do with it. But they brought Islam in everything so that when they fail, the people would say, look, Islam doesn't succeed in today's world. Well, it hasn't been tried. Don't count on it. Don't count on it because they haven't tried it yet. They haven't tried it. So now the Western media is talking about these things. First of all, Bashar al-Assad, after killing hundreds of thousands of Syrians, a Kafir Alawi, whom the Ja'faris call Kuffar, even though both of them are Shia, ended up with his family and a lot of money with Putin. Airbnb. Putin for tyrants. So he's staying there, living like a king after killing all these people, and he will go back to Allah. I don't know what kind of defense he's going to be preparing for the meeting with Allah and his criminal wife. Now the Westerners are saying Khamenei is planning to flee from Iran to Russia, to Putin's Airbnb. And I'm saying if he has between 95 to 200 billion dollars that he stole from the Iranians, Khamenei and his close supporters, they would have put some of it or much of it in Russia and in China, where Russia and China would not give the money to the West or to Iran. Russia and China would say to the West, get lost. Russia has more nuclear weapons than the rest of the world combined, almost. And China has about 500 nuclear warheads, and they're not really scared themselves, but so they're saying he's going to escape to Russia, Airbnb, where he can live like a king again, as he always did, while the people are suffering. Now, today, they're smart. So that woman, minister of whatever it is, she came on public TV. Good news for the Iranians. For the next 4 months, we are going to give every Iranian the total of €6. It's not a gift, it's a loan. Khamenei, let's say you have 100 billion. Look how you ruled Iran as a king, really, as an emperor. Wouldn't be making a lot of sense that he says, oh, I'm giving the Iranians $50 billion back. Let's rebuild, give people water and electricity and all that things, and reduce the prices, and start a new currency that doesn't have Khomeiни's face on it. 50 billion. You still have 50 billion, and the people will not revolt. They're revolting now. But they're revolting, and the Westerners are taking the chance. They're not talking about a brutal dictator. They're talking about Islam and the hijab. The hijab. It's like the jihad. Hijab. And the people are revolting because of the hijab. You mean all these young men, they're revolting because they're wearing hijab? Iran being a country populated by Muslims, there is a very wide audience that women would like to wear hijab. It's their right. It's their right to cover their bodies from sick people who look at them. They want to enjoy their beauty that's supposed to be for their husbands for free. That's what they want. They don't care about women's rights. Women's rights in America? In the West? Women's rights here? What rights? So they just targeting Islam. And this is what happens when groups like Qaeda, ISIS, Shabab, Ja'faris, Houthis, they are wicked people. They do things in the name of Islam and bring criticism to Islam, even though they don't practice Islam. We've been saying this for decades. And everywhere they went, they brought disasters and failures. The ISIS and Qaeda, for example, and the Shabab, and the Boko Haram, lots of them, everywhere they went, the Christians of the West went after them. Occupation, bombing, destroying. They brought disasters to the Muslims where they operated and still operate. And what they do is not Islamic. Use the media as much as you like, Western people. You have no shame. And the leader of the free world, Western world, is Trump. Enjoy what he will do to you, to your countries, to your economies. Enjoy. He still has 3 more years. But they are attacking Islam in the meantime. The women who are demonstrating in Iran, taking off the hijab to burn it, there is a bigger fire that Allah has for those who betray His religion and who attack His religion and who promote not practicing the religion. I mean, I'm trying here to be very specific, because promoting a sin as being allowed, knowing that Allah did not allow it, somebody takes himself or herself out of the religion. Totally, partially. Anyway, so they're attacking Islam because of the behavior of these failures, and we have to suffer again. Good news. Islam is still here. Islam is still here. The largest religion on earth. Let me say it again. Islam is still here. The largest religion on earth, and increasing in number and influence. Another fact, you know this. Life is cycles. Today Muslims are weak and divided because they are divided in the religion, even though Allah disallowed them in the Quran from dividing in the religion. They will again get the opportunity to unite on the religion and regain the might they always had when they abided by the religion. Cycles. You be patient. Be patient. But it makes us work harder to defend the religion when these wicked people keep trashing Islam literally, by their practices and behavior that is not allowed by Islam or its book, the Quran, or its Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah's honor, blessings and mercy on him. Allah's honor, blessings and mercy on him. That's the meaning of sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You bring in trouble for Islam and Muslims. Say you are like gangs of criminals. Why bring Islam into? Say that we just want to kill and steal and whatever, or kill people, or suicide missions. Don't drag Islam into it. One of the people who was caught a few days ago, he wanted to do jihad, and he said it, the guy who was announcing it. He wanted to do jihad with ISIS. His first name is, my name is Jalal Abualrub from Palestine, the West Bank, the city of Jenin. I believe in Islam, and I have total belief that Islam itself will not suffer. It's increasing, and our time will come. We'll work towards that. What's the first name of that man? ISIS, Jihad, Christian. That's his name. Christian. We don't know that man. We have nothing to do with him or with ISIS. We did not give permission for ISIS or any other group to do anything in any area in the name of us and the name of Islam. He wanted to do some. Why didn't you say we caught a criminal? Why do you have to drag Islam into it? And another good news, I'll let you go. It's not working. It's not working. It is not working against Islam. So recently somebody called Islam, it's not a religion, it's a cult. And he worships a Trump. Jesus in pink. They say orange. I think he looks like pink. I don't know what he puts on his face, this man. You worship Trump. Are you calling Islam a cult? No, it isn't. Uh, it is the largest religion on earth, and you can't do anything about it or to stop it. In the meantime, the Muslim lion is sleeping and the mice are playing. When the Muslim lion wakes up, the rats will come and lick his feet, or he will eat them. Today we're weak. It's not going to be always. Oh Allah, help the Muslims go back to their religion, unite, and Khamenei, if you have any decency in you, the killer of hundreds of thousands of Muslims in Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, 86. What are you waiting for? It's just maybe 1 foot and 90% of the other foot in the grave already. Repent to Allah for what you did in the name of Islam. You're bringing trouble for Islam. You don't believe in it. You don't believe in it. And apologize to your people. Give them back all the money. And the people will not protest. I mean, why should they protest? But after all these decades of struggling against the Americans, it's foreign interference. After all these decades, the foreigners still have the power to bring all these demonstrations. Then you're a failure. Even as a tyrant, you're a failure. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. On our website, islamlife.com, we have these books, including, okay, here it is. Holy Wars, Crusades, Jihad, a comparison between the rules of warfare between the Old Testament, the New Testament, where it is here, Holy Wars, Old Testament, Crusades, of course, New Testament, Jihad, according to the Quran and Prophet Muhammad's Sunnah traditions and practices. You can find this book and other books on the website islamlife.com. Read about Islam. I'm advising Muslims also to read about Islam so that you don't do anything that brings trouble for Muslims. For Islam, you can't bring trouble for Islam. Everything the kuffar, disbelievers, starting with the Jews, then the Christians, and everybody else did and still doing, it's not working. Islam is spreading everywhere. It is the largest religion on earth. All thanks and praises are due to Allah.